Hey everyone, today is March 30th, Monday, March 30th, and sorry if you can hear clicking in the background. It's my dogs are wandering around the house. They're bored and stir crazy, but I've been very busy. I wanted to show you what I've been up to. I've been following the Nicole Jones 911 Scrapathon 5 class, and some of these layouts were inspired by her, but a lot of these have just been, I'm trying to work through my stash, scrapbook pictures that have been kind of stored away in closets, and just, yeah, so I've been going a bit stir crazy, and this is what I've been doing. So this particular layout is an old picture of hubby and I. And my goal on this was to, at this point, I didn't really have any pattern papers that I liked in my stash. And I wanted to make something using all the scraps that I had on hand. And a lot of these are Maggie Holmes. There's a little bit of cardstock mixed in there. Yeah, so that's that one. This one is a very old picture of me. Sorry for the glare. I haven't found a really good lighting setup yet, and still working on it. This one, I wanted to play a little bit with my sewing machine. I don't know about you guys, but man, I struggle to sew on scrapbook paper. I think this was a layout that I scrap lifted from... It might have been Nicole Jones. I honestly don't remember. This one, not my favorite, but I mean, the pictures are old and horrible. I probably should have scanned this and reprinted the pictures in black and white, but I was kind of just working with what I had. So that's that one. And this one I've been trying to use up wood veneer. This one was a lot of like... scrap pieces of paper, and it just happened that they were all 12 inches long still. So, and I was using up my thickers titles. Oh, wow. Okay. I do not like green a whole lot. And one of the Nicole Jones 911 prompts was to use a color that you're not super keen on. And I flipped through all my old pictures from the early 80s, we'll say. Oh, washi tape falling off the back. And I happened to find these pictures of an old vacation that we took to British Columbia to see my grandmother. And yeah, so using up chipboard, it's been in my stash. Just random embellies. And yeah, thickers that I don't have enough to make full words of. So that was that one. Not a huge fan of this, but I think it's the colors and just meh. Another old picture. This one was, I had a pattern paper in my stash. It's this peachy colored one. And it was just two great big triangles like this. And like one of the triangles was that peach color, and then the other one was, I don't know, blue or something. And I didn't really know how I wanted to use it. So I dissected it and using up some handmade embellies and just some random title things. Here's an old picture of, oh, I've got glue on there. It's an old picture of hubby and his mom. And I scrap lifted this from, I can't remember who, but I had a whole lot of little bits and pieces of scrap paper in this kit that I made, and it was too small to really do anything substantial with. I played a little bit trying to do something on the background, and it made the paper all warped. So I glued it to a piece of chipboard. I'm hoping it'll flatten when it goes in an album. And I tried to do some mixed media on the background, but I didn't have the right color, so I ended up not liking it, and I just covered it up. Another color I'm not uber keen on is yellow and brown together. I guess it's a color combination more than just one color. And I happen to have, these are actually tags that were gifted to me from someone in my Facebook group that I'm part of. And I had this paper and I just wanted to kind of do something. And I pulled the colors from the picture in the background here. I don't know if you can see it. It's my dad looking extremely grumpy, and an Afghan that my grandma made like in the 70s. So it's kind of a 70s colored inspired layout. Another color I don't use a lot of in my scrapbooking is green. And this particular color combo is green and orange and yellow. So bit of a tricky one to use and not make it look fall Halloween-y. So, and again, using up some thickers that I had in my stash. I love the way this layout turned out. Sorry, I just realized I'm not totally in frame. I bought this kit from the dollar store, believe it or not. It's that really thin, flimsy paper in the background. So I used a piece of white cardstock. And again, the green, I wouldn't have used it any other way. I still have some of this kit left, but the embellishments were very specific to me in my mind, to like a warm tropical vacation. The leaves kind of inspired that. So I used as many of the stickers and chipboard as I could to create this wreath layout. And this is my husband's parents on one of their trips to, where were they? Mexico? Cuba? I don't remember. I love this layout. The picture's kind of weird, but that's okay. I used up bits and pieces of Maggie Holmes, mostly Maggie Holmes actually. A couple of embellishments that were sent to me through some of the crafty groups I've been part of. I loved this paper, and when I saw it, I immediately went for these pictures. So, a very old picture of my nephew and my sister-in-law. As you can tell by a lot of my layouts, I'm doing this whole layering a paper on a paper, just to kind of use up what I've got. And Nicole Jones, what she did is she said, if you're really wanting to save paper, cut out the middle and use it as your mat, which is what I did here. So I'm really liking that, and I'm using a lot of paper that I wouldn't necessarily have used otherwise. What else can I tell you? This is gesso in the background. I did a bit of a mixed media thing there, and then I realized I had some bluey purple stuff on my mat, and it kind of got there. Okay, this layout, wow. You can't really tell. I was trying to make an interesting background using my quiet. Sorry, guys. The dog was starting to growl. I was trying to make a background with my distress inks, and the colors I chose were horrible. They ended up in a big muddy mess in the middle, so I just took some journal cards. These are just 3x4 journal cards, and I kind of strategically placed them so they look like they're taking up more of the paper than they actually are. Not my favorite, but meh, it's done. This is one of the papers that I challenged myself to use. The colors are not my jam, so I tried to use it in an interesting way without overwhelming the page. This is actually one of the more plain layouts I did. Okay, now I know I said I don't love green, but I really like the way this turned out. Again, I did that cut out the back section thing to create my photo mat. Used up just some cut aparts. I realized I got some glue there. I managed to get out and get some modeling paste. Used some distress inks. It was just a little bit of everything. Some like random titles. I have this huge bag of just green things. Like this random little acetate bird. I don't know how else I would have used it. So that one's done. I love this layout. I think it's the colors in this layout that make me really happy. using some viewfinders from Nicole Jones. And this was scrap lifted from one of her prompts. It was kind of like to use 2 pieces of paper and offset them. And I really liked how this one ended up. And this is some, it's like fabric washi tape. It's really cool. I've got some more of that I want to use. This one, I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just kind of somewhere in the middle. One of my goals was to use some washi tape. So I pulled like a butt ton of washi tape. I cut this file on my Cricut, so it's just a great big ampersand. And then I just kind of filled it in and threw in some pink and whatever. And realized after the fact that I had used silver here and then gold here. But it is what it is. And a handmade embellishment. I love this one too. This picture was a really busy picture because, of course, you know, when you get together for a family dinner, everybody's wearing different colors and it's just kind of crazy. So I ended up, again, using this paper, which I don't even really like. Which is strange because I like doodles. But this one just didn't speak to me. So I stole this idea from, I think it was Inky Quill. And she basically just kind of created a little rainbow of like ink drag. And I think I used acrylic paint. Yes, I did. And I had some random sticker embellishments that I was like, when am I ever going to use a hamburger? Or a pretzel? I don't really know. Or a pear. It's just some really weird stuff. So I figured I'd get it out of my stash and kind of line it up in the rainbow order. And I think these are matches. I don't know what this sticker pack was. Like crazy. So it was a little bit of this, a little bit of that, some really big enamel dots thrown in just to add a little bit of texture. So I really like the way this one turned out. I'll probably do something like this again. Again, that matte on a matte thing. And again, cutting out the background. This was a black and white dot paper and it had this green border. So using up some scraps. This one was a hole punch negative. I don't know if you can really see there. Let's see if I can bring it closer. It's like I cut out little circles and it left me this. So, and just some chipboard. Love this one too. I mean, anything with a wood grain background, right? And a piece of acetate, some scraps. Did I do oh, I didn't do it on this one, surprisingly. I probably should have. Yeah, I used a bit of ink in the background, some washi. It's kind of, it is what it is. I loved doing this one. So the story about this layout is I copied an Inky Quill idea where she used her thickers that she didn't have enough of to make any proper words anymore. And this particular set of thickers was all rainbow. So like each of them had diagonal rainbow stripes and they were patterned and they were all mismatched. The only thing they had in common was they were the same font style-ish. So I took a busy piece of paper, glued everything down. Gluing these down took forever. Gessoed over only this section of it and then kind of dry brushed the blue. And then the rest of it is just stuff from my stash. So a couple of handmade embellishments. I was looking for a way to use this. So this kind of inspired the colors over here. And a lot of this is branding strips, actually. The little teeny bits over here are branding strips that were left over. And just, these are beautiful. These are, I don't really know what they're made out of. They're like plastic, but they're, I guess they're rubber. And I got them from Studio Calico, and they've been sitting in my stash probably for the better part of a year, not really knowing what to do with them. So it's a bit busy and heavy, but I really like it. And this one, I was trying to challenge, same picture, same day. You can see I'm wearing the same shirt. I was challenging myself to use those thickers, like random thickers, to create a great big title. So This is what I came up with, and used rainbow paper. I find that when you've got a really busy paper like this, it helps to have a black and white picture. So I'm trying to do that more. This one. I Frankensteined this E together, and if you look really carefully, you can see it's actually an F with an L layered over the top. But that's a secret between you and I. So that's that. So actually all of these letters were from the dollar store. I still have a bunch of them left, but I'm working through it. This one was, I wanted to challenge myself to use more than one picture. And as you can see, I was still trying to use up my thickers. These ones are getting down to can't really make any more titles out of. And I had some numbers, so I thought, well, why not? We'll see what we can do. And washi. So there's washi, 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 and mini thickers there. And again, the viewfinders from Nicole Jones. So I tried to do a multi-picture and not make it a 12 by 12. So this and this card in the background, I printed out using the Becky Higgins Project Life app on my phone. And they're just like packs of journal cards and stuff that you can buy, and then you just print. And I print all my pictures. Quiet. Sorry. Hey, quiet. I print all my pictures on my Canon Selfie, and I'm starting to run out of paper and ink, so we'll see how that goes. This one was really fun. I wanted to use this paper, which you see the other side of it. Like, it's really cute, but no. So I wanted to just use paper and play a little bit. I got some clear gesso, so I wanted to play a little bit with that. So I clear gessoed the background. It's so warped. And did, was this Distress ink? No, this is watercolor marker. And then I just did the packaging technique. Used up some branding strips, and I really like this. I cut it on my Cricut. It's a film strip. So I printed the pictures at, I think they ended up being like 1.5 square. So when I set it up on my Cricut, I made sure that each of the openings was 1.5 square. I had planned on layering these pictures behind, but the margin was too small, and I would have ended up really having to fuss a lot with it. And you can see hacked a title together again. So the ends here are just Z's turned on their sides. What else? Oh, and the T. I had to Frankenstein the T together. It's like an L with pieces of stuff left over. So that's that. So I don't know how many layouts it is, but it's a lot. And I'm not done yet. I will hopefully do another video like this maybe in another couple of weeks, and see how many more layouts I can get done. But for the time being, that is what I have been up to. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!